Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hi, hi, hi. We've got a double live tonight. I'm just starting out here for a little bit, and I will be heading over to YouTube shortly thereafter. But we're going to get started over here. For those of you that do follow me over on YouTube, I have put up and said I will be on here in a little bit. But I just got my hands on this memo, and I wanted to share it with everybody here. So, hello, 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 everyone. Hello, welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me get my sticky note ready. I've been struggling a little bit over here on the talk. My posts are not getting out to the FYP page. We're having some, I don't know, suppression, whatever you want to call it. So I want to try to make sure I'm over here. But also, I am absolutely doing the YouTube as well. So I will be heading over there after we finish up with this memo here. So, oh, thanks. Oh, Shelby Pie, that's so sweet. Oh, hello, hello. Yeah, so welcome in. We're kind of struggling right now, and I know some of the other creators are also struggling. So just kind of giving you a heads up if you don't see anything from me on your FYP to just kind of head over to my home page here. I guess we'll call it a home page. A home page, and then you can check and see what I've been posting, because I'm posting still several times a day, but they're just not getting out there. They're not getting out. Hello, Jane. Hello, welcome. Yes, so I'm going to go through a memo tonight here on TikTok, and then I'm going to be skedaddling over to the YouTube. And on YouTube, I have two documents I'll be doing tonight. I'm going to go through the Supreme Court's decision on the frozen funds situation, right? So the U.S. aid, I will be reading through this decision. It's really just one page of a decision. The rest of it's a dissent from a grumpy Alito. And then, but wait, that's not all. And then, but wait, that's not all. And then I will be going through the plaintiff's motion and defendant's opposition to sanctions. We had some sanctions filed in one of our cases, one of the Jane Doe cases, so I will be reading through that as well. So this will be over on my YouTube after we finish the memo tonight. So I really prefer to be over on YouTube when I've got language that I feel would be censored, and that's really happening quite a bit right now. So because of that, I'm going to be heading over there after we go through our memo here. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate it. So we've got these two, but for tonight, we're going to kind of do a quick live here just to remind everyone I'm still here, and I'm still happy to be over here. I'm having a problem, though, getting out to the people here for one reason or another. But tonight, I thought I'd take you through a memo that I just got my hands on. This is a memo to the Department of Veterans Affairs, and it has been sent out, so to give you some idea of what's going on. Here, let me go ahead and make my sticky note. Hello, hello, everyone. Hello. Hello, Krista. All right, so this is a memo, Department of Vets Affairs here. And there's some pretty big cuts coming, everyone. There's some pretty big situations going on here. So, yikes. You don't. Oh my gosh, it's, yeah. So, it's gonna start pouring down here pretty soon. I wish I had different news, but I don't. So, there's just that. All right, so again, thank you for coming in, everyone. And for those of you joining, I'm going to take you through this memo here. On the TikTok, we'll do a Q&A after, and then I will be heading over to my Tube of You. I've got two documents to take you through. On my Tube of You tonight, we've got the Supreme Court's decision on the frozen funds, where we've got a pretty significant dissent from Alito. And then we'll go through the motion for sanctions that was set out. So these two documents I'll be doing on YouTube right after I finish this memo up here on TikTok. All right, so come and join me over there. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So the first thing, hello, Betharoni. The first thing I do want to go through, though, is this memorandum. So we've got a memo that came out for the Department of Veterans Affairs here. Good evening, good evening. Sanctions for the attorneys in one of the cases that's been filed against the administration. So this is a quick memo, but very powerful. It's going to have some pretty significant effects. So let me go ahead and get started on this memo. Then we can do a Q&A here. Again, I do have two other documents I'll be doing over on the YouTube after we finish up here tonight. So a lot of my information, a lot of my posts aren't really getting out there right now. So if you feel like you've missed me, head on over to the home. Head on over to the home and check out my posts. So, hello, Ava, Katrina, welcome in. So here we go. Let me see if I can move this out of the way here. I've got extra battery tonight. All right, so post to get, but well, that's your call. As an attorney, I can't advocate for any kind of illegal actions, but I am an American. And I hear where you're coming from. Sharing and tapping. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. All right, so let's dive in. We have the date of March 4th. We have from the Chief of Staff. The subject is Department of Veterans Affairs Agency Reduction in Force and Reorganization Plan here. And it's to the undersecretaries, assistant secretaries, and other key officials. Well, I do my best, Brandy. I do try my best. Number one, this memo initiates the Department of Veterans Affairs department-wide review of mission, organization, and structure in order to achieve efficiencies dictated, don't use the D word, people, by President Trump's February 11th, 2025 executive order implementing the President's Department of Government Efficiency DOGE Workforce Optimization Initiative and the subsequent February 26, 2025 Office of Personnel Management and Office of Management and Budget Guidance document on RIF and reorganization plans. The VA, in partnership with our DOGE leads, will move out aggressively while taking a pragmatic and disciplined approach to identify and increase workforce efficiency. Hold on, I apologize. I skipped down too far. I'm looking at the comments too here. All right, bumping back up. Here we go. Let's just restart this sentence. I'm so distracted by the comments, everyone. I'm here. I'm reading your comments. Here we go. And while taking a pragmatic and disciplined approach to identify and eliminate waste, reduce management and bureaucracy, reduce footprint, and increase workforce efficiency. Holy run-on sentence. Additionally, a portion of the savings garnered will be reinvested in veterans. In the veterans we serve and the systems required to support our workforce, and the department will affect a VA-wide RIF in August to resize and tailor the workforce to the mission and revised structure. So there's that. Number two, this effort will require the entirety of VA staff and organizations to work together in a collaborative fashion, as well as to coordinate actions with DOGE and the administration as a whole to achieve the desired results within the allotted time. For planning purposes, the department's initial objective is to return to our 2019 and strength numbers of 399,957 employees. Furthermore, the VA administrations and staff offices will need to detail sufficient personnel to support this effort as outlined in the memorandum, to focus on implementation and to synergize VA efforts. Hi Deb, thank you so much, Deborah. Yeah, I apologize, everyone. I'm telling you, I'm getting nailed over here on the TikTok. So I'm getting nailed. Yeah. Number three, Implementation timeline. A, information gathering due March 10th of 2025. Administrations and staff offices will gather required information as outlined in Attachment 1. Additionally, a separate memorandum on RIF procedures will be released, which will include required information and actions. B, a line of effort, LOE. Administrations and staff offices will conduct an internal review and analysis of their organizations with required products to be delivered by April 10th to provide responses to OMB and OPM Phase 2 requirements by April 14th. So they're just setting out some deadlines here on when they want that information. So frustrating. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot going on here. How can we survive going back Oh my gosh. Well, that's a good question. All right. Subject Department, again, of Veterans Affairs Agency Reduction in Force Reorganization Plan. So here's C. We went through A. We did B. Now here's C. LOE2, Intra-Department, a department-wide review will be completed by May 9th of 2025. D, VA will publish its reorganization plan in June of 2025 with a subsequent department-wide RIF prior to the end of the fiscal year of 2025 as required by OMB and OPM. And E, throughout all phases of the operation, there will be ongoing reviews and interim briefings and decision points. Additional implementation guidance is forthcoming. Yes, yeah, they're planning to cut. Yep. Pretty major cuts. And I thought I heard that they weren't going to do cuts, but maybe that's just me. Next, number 4, program implementations. A, the VA Reorganization Implementation Cell, the Office of Human Resources and Administration Operations, Security, and Preparedness will stand up the VA RIC to serve as the program manager and focus on implementation actions. The VA RIC will expand to execute necessary functions for the reorganization. The following administrations and staff offices are required to detail a minimum of 1 individual at a grade level of General Schedule 14 or higher to support the VA RIC activities and serve as the liaison to their organization. Organization Veterans Health Administration, Veterans Benefits Administration, National Cemetery Administration. You remember Trump had that little hiccup with the cemetery situation. Everyone remember that? The HRA OSP, Office of Information Technology, Office of Acquisition, Logistics and Construction, Office of Office of Enterprise Integration, Office of General Counsel, Office of Management, and Board of Veterans Appeals. Names should be submitted to this number and this address by March 5th, which would be today. The start date will commence on March 6th. So this memo was on the 4th. So you've got 1 day, you've got 24-hour notice to send in this request, and then you've got 2 days notice of when things will be changed, and the location will be provided by March 5th. Initial details will be for a period of 120 days. In addition, VA liaisons to DOJ will be integrated into VA RIC operations, ensuring positive and continuous communications with the administration through all phases of the operation. Hello. Yeah, 24-hour notice, and then 48 hours. The VA's there. Right. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what the protocol is going to be for when all the terminations are occurring, and then if there is going to be unemployment benefits and so on. So I really don't know. My guess would be they're doing it in such a way that would make it so they can't get unemployment because, the more harm, the better. All right, next up, we've got B. Administrations and staff offices will designate a senior leader, senior executive service level, to serve as a central point of contact for time-sensitive issues or where senior level contact is needed to resolve issues. Names should be submitted here again by March 5th. So this memo was out on the 4th. So names all have to be submitted to this address, email address, within 24 hours here. And C, predicting unemployment rates. Yeah. Same with Social Security. Yep, exactly. It's getting cut, everyone. Everything's getting cut pretty hard. But again, we do have the Supreme Court coming in with a set of cuts, and they're saying you need to back the F off. And that is this case. I will be going through this on my YouTube channel after I finish up this memo here on the TikTok. So here's C. Undersecretaries, assistant secretaries, and other key officials will serve on the Executive Review Group, ERG. Membership will also include senior advisors and VA Doge liaisons. The ERG will address issues and make recommendations to the secretary for decision. The secretary or his designee will chair the ERG. So, hello. Hey, cool guy. How you doing? Welcome in. And so here's page 3. Again, they're just putting the subject up here. Number 5, the secretary will chair an initial senior level meeting on March 5th of 2025. So apparently that's already happened. Invitation is forthcoming, and we don't have that information. So again, this memo was up online, and it's now been published, so we could find it. Here is the supplement that was added, so we'll kind of go through that. Yeah, I'm just hanging out for a little bit here just to go through this VA memo, and then I will be heading over to YouTube tonight for my full, my full show. The full show will be over on the YouTube, and I've got a decision from SCOTUS as well as the motion for sanctions that have been filed for some Trump administration cases. We'll be doing that over in the YouTube. Oh, yes, I know. Oh, Lexi, I've missed you too. But so we're going to hang out here for just a little bit. It seems like I can't really do everything I need to do over here when it comes to my documents because I'm really struggling with the words and the algorithm over here. So the last live I did was the closet docket over here, and then I've done a face-to-face. This is my first document live that I've done over here in a couple of weeks. So again, we're really kind of, I'm struggling here with the talk. So it's a lot easier for me, better for me to be over on YouTube to go through documents. And that's where I'm heading after this memo tonight, everyone. So if you are wanting a full show, we've got a couple big documents. I'll be putting those up. We'll be going through those right after I finish here on TikTok. Okay, so I just wanted to hop on though because of this VA memo that I thought was really interesting. Yes. Yeah, we're struggling. We're on the struggle bus over here on the talk. All right, so here's the attachment given to the memo. So we've got an initial data call, information data gathering. So February 28th through March 10th. First, provision of organization charts and structure for all organizations down to the lowest level. So provision of unit manpower documents by organization, list of statutorily mandated functions, entities, certification that these have been interpreted to cover only what functions they explicitly require, list of regulatory directed functions, list of organizations and total number of positions that provide direct service to veterans, that support operations, and those that are management overhead. So I'm going to stop for just a second right here. One of the things that has been a highlight, and I did not watch the speech last night because, I just didn't. But one of the things that I did hear as a highlight was when Mr. Trump was saying, there's nothing I can say or do that's going to make the Democrats in the room, applaud or whatever. And I think that was really a loaded comment for many reasons. One of the reasons is, because he's gross. He's a gross guy. But, so it's hard to listen at all. And the other thing is, like, if you've got something like this where they're saying, we're trying to gather information about veterans, that's great. That's a great idea to come through here and look and see exactly what happens and try to get everybody on the same page with this information. I think that that's really good stuff. And, kind of doing an audit of the VA, sure, do it. But why are we cutting, 85,000 staff? Like you're asking all of this information to be gathered so we can figure out how we can make it work better after, cutting 85,000 people. So, that's the part of it that is like, what are you talking about, right? Like I would be absolutely supportive of this if we weren't losing huge chunks of people. So, as I'm reading through, I'm like, well, yeah, that makes sense. Who's going to implement it? Because you're, cutting everybody. All right. That's my 2 bits on that. List of positions, essential positions that excluded from potential reductions, RIF, and not mandated as essential during a lapse in appropriations using the agency contingency plan submitted to OMB in 2019. So let's go all the way back there. Installations, list of installations across the department with assigned personnel and capacity. And again, all of this information, by the way, is available. They could actually get this information quite easily without having to go through and send out this mass email. But, they're asking for it here. So technology systems, identification of all systems utilized by the department for its mission to include costs, contract, and associated personnel. Initial input of any identified organization, unit, or mission should be eliminated or consolidated, and which specific subcomponents or functions, if any, should be expanded to deliver on the president's priorities. The suggested plan for congressional engagement to gather input and agreement on major restructuring efforts and the movement of fundings between accounts as applicable, including compliance with any congressional notification requirements. So, again, here we're saying we want implementation for the president's priority. And, usually what happens is, it's for America's priority, right? We're trying to do what's best for the country, not what's best for this president. But, what are you going to do? And then additional information guidance is forthcoming, which is going to be tough because this was put out on the 4th. They're asking for emails by the 5th. There's supposed to have been a meeting today on the 5th. And then we're going forward on implementation on March 6th. So I'm not sure what kind of guidance they're going to be able to get out here within 48 hours. So, yes, the lawyers, everyone, the lawyers are here to interpret the bologna sandwich language. There's a lot of that going on. There's a lot. It's overwhelming. It's overwhelming. So here, you've got news about the meeting. Oh, let us know. Let us know. As I had hopped on to the live, I had not received any information. So, yeah, the lawyers. Now, here's the thing, though, with the lawyers is, we've got a code of ethics, but as with any field, some of us follow them, some of us do not. So we got to kind of keep our eye on that. Appreciate you doing this. Oh, of course, of course. And for anyone who wants a friendly reminder here are some attorneys. This guy's an attorney. He's lost his license. This person's an attorney. She hasn't, but she's from Texas. This lady's an attorney, and her license has been sanctioned, I think. I'm not sure if she's lost her license yet or not. I've not pulled that case up recently. I'll have to take a look at that. This guy's an attorney. I'm not sure what his status is out of Georgia. I'm not sure where his license is. This guy's an attorney. He has had his license revoked. This guy here is an attorney, also had his license revoked. And do we have anybody else? Did I miss anybody? Oh, yep. This guy's an attorney, too, trying to take over the world. And I believe his license has been pulled as well. So, attorneys are great, but, there's good and bad. And here we've got one license, 2 licenses, 3 licenses. I'm not sure about that one, but this one's 4. We've had 4 that have lost their licenses, and then these other ones here I'm not 100% on. Just to remind everybody, here, and they are still on trial, right? So that case has not been dismissed at this point. All that work, yeah. Our facility will let 70 people go. I was told this today. Oh my gosh, yikes! Yeah, so I mean, come on. That's just awful, especially in the Veterans Affairs Department. Now, again, if you look statistically, overwhelmingly, it seems as though veterans voted for Mr. Trump. Now, I just want to take a moment and acknowledge all of the veterans that did not vote for Mr. Trump, who are absolutely horrified at the situation, because it's like, the group project is failing here, everyone, and my heart is absolutely going out to those veterans who were like, dude, this isn't right. This isn't what I fought for. My heart just absolutely goes out to you 100%. Exactly. In the horrified category. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Jacqueline, I got you. Erna, Trish, yep. Oh my gosh. Just for fun. Exactly. Appalled. Yep. And it's heartbreaking. Oh, Ava, yeah, absolutely. It's heartbreaking. And my I grieve for you, everyone. I do. I grieve for our veterans who standing up and saying, look, this is a bad choice. So I used to work at the oh my gosh, yeah. So yes, thank you everybody, all of you, for your service, dedication, for your honor. I appreciate it. I appreciate it so much. You'll never know truly how much we appreciate everybody here. We did not vote for him. There you go. See, that's the other thing too, is when you see the stories like, well, overwhelmingly the veterans voted, but there are a lot that didn't, and they're, again, heartbroken. So just kind of a moment to acknowledge our veterans here who are absolutely horrified. So worked at the VA for 15 years. Yikes. So there's no end date that's set out here by this memo. We do have an executive order regarding Veterans Affairs. I have no doubt legislation is going to be tried to be pushed through if it's not already on the floor. I've not gone through all of the bills and checked all of the committees, but typically what we're seeing right now, again, is the executive orders don't have enough power behind them to really, the president doesn't set law. So he can't pass laws. That's outside of his scope. The best he can do is kind of administrative directives, which is what those executive orders are doing. So he's got some administrative directives going, and in order to change them into law, you've got to get Congress to put the bills on the floor. So that's kind of what we're seeing with these executive orders. So right now we have, for example, like the birthright citizenship, I'm thinking if there isn't one yet, there will be one very soon on the floor of Congress, because there certainly isn't any kind of authority for the president to do it. Now, Congress doesn't have the authority either. We've got to change the Constitution. So let me clarify that for the birthright citizenship. But that's what's happening here. So it's kind of like it starts with an executive order. Next, Congress tries to pull some BS out and we go forward that way, because they're basically acknowledging that the executive orders don't have the authority to do a lot of what they're trying to do here. Now, they can do some of the stuff, and that's, if you can do it, you can do it. There you go. We got to respect it, and respect the process. But on the other hand, most of this stuff is not within the power of the president. So kind of taking advantage of the process itself, which, is interesting. And we just have to kind of also take advantage of the process. So that's what we've got here on the memo to Departments of Veterans Affairs situation. Have you heard Elon wants... I'm trying to... I can't keep up with it. There was a guy that was just released who was... I don't know. What was I watching? Oh, I was just watching. They were on YouTube. They just did a post on it. Like he was, uh, oh my gosh. Okay, I got it. I remember now. He's the guy that set up a website so that instead of having to go out to the street corner for your illegal substances, you could order it online. I can't remember his name. Yeah, I can't remember his name. So he's been pardoned. So there's that. Like, what? Yeah, yep, exactly. Yep. So that's happened. Yeah, the Silk Road, exactly. Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody. Again, I've got so much in my brain right now. Names sometimes are, yes, the Silk Road guy. Exactly, exactly. Oh my gosh, thank you so much, everybody. I needed that. Yep. Veterans get, right, 15 years silver work. Exactly. That's the other thing, too. If you think about it, and one of the things to remember is, Mr. Trump in his regular life, such that it was as a boss, was really crappy. By a lot of people's opinions, all right, because there's this level that a lot of bosses do where they overwork you, underpay, and you're doing the work of 5 people and getting paid for like half of a person. And that is absolutely what's going on here in our federal government right now. They're cutting all of these people. They're not giving any pay raises. You're lucky if you can hold on to your salary right now. And being asked to do a heck of a lot more work, and work that is potentially harmful to other people. That's why we're seeing many people who are resigning, and that's understandable. Well, right. So I'm not presenting this as this is a court document. I'm presenting this is a memo that's being sent to the Department of Veterans Affairs. So I'm not putting this in as an exhibit, so it doesn't have to be official. But it is a way to acknowledge what information is being given to the Department of Veterans Affairs. Mm-hmm. Whoops, I missed somebody's comment here. Biggest employer of vets. Yeah, exactly, Casey, exactly. Yep. For legal prescriptions. Yep, exactly. The Doge people are making a lot of money, I agree. Fired the top judge ever. Yes. So, oh my gosh, we're in rough shape here. One thing though, have to hire people back. Well, right. And if they can go back, sure. Let's flip to page 2. We'll do screenshots. I'll move my hands a little bit. Well, let's go back to the first one for a second here so everyone can screenshot, and I'll move my hands out of the way here. There we go. You can move the chat if you're wanting a clean one. So here we go. Screenshots, everyone. And now we'll do page 2. Doge is costing, well, yeah, of course they are. It's like you're finding pennies here and there, but that's not, where the big chunks of money are. You got to look to the oligarchs. That's where the big chunks of money are going. Leadership meetings. Oh, I know. Oh, it's just going to get worse. It's going to get worse. And it's painful. We're following P25 here. I'm struggling to read through P25. One of the things I'd wanted to do was kind of sit down and do some lives on that. And I will be, and I absolutely will be. But right now, I just can't stomach it, honestly. And I rarely say that about things, but I just can't. It's just so horrific. But the other thing too, and one of the things I really hold on to is that when you run this hard, when you try to do so much all at once, you burn out. And so I keep feeling like at some point, this is going to burn out and they're not going to have much left. So it's kind of the quick and dirty, let's just get it done and screw everybody over. And then, but there's a lot more time to come back and kind of get it sorted out. Affect title companies and etc. That I don't know. I haven't paid attention to how P25 affects any kind of companies. Mostly vets that work. Yes, it is. Our veterans are in the government. And rightfully so. As a veteran, as someone in the military, you're working for the government. There's going to be anyone left in Virginia. Oh, I know. In the VA offices. Yeah. Where can we get this memo? So, Britt, great question. Here's page 2. Hopefully everybody was able to get that if you're interested. Here's page 3. You can screenshot this. This memo is available online. It is available. You can look up, actually, you can just look this up. Put this into your search engine, Memo, Department of Veterans Affairs, and then the date, and it should pull up lots of different places. Newspaper, come on, newspaper, news articles, and various other places, and they'll have a link to the PDF on it. Yep. So that's a big deal. My veterans family members or sisters. Oh, I know everybody. I myself, both of my parents are Vietnam veterans and are absolutely devastated with some severe disabilities that happened because of their service. If they hadn't been in the military at the time, they would not have the disabilities that they have. So I completely understand. It's absolutely heartbreaking here to watch this. 30% of federal workers are veterans. Okay. Yeah, that sounds right. I mean, that number sounds right. It's a huge number compared to other fields that our veterans are in here. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's frustrating. It's hard to watch, but we also knew this was a possibility, and that's what's going on. We're scared. Yeah. Even though we're patient. Exactly. And I can understand. That. Research. Yep. Research. All research is really, I know a professor, chemical engineer professor, and grants and funding and things are, dicey, everybody. Dicey. It's all veterans departments. It's all of them. It doesn't look like they've picked a particular area of the VA that they're going after. It looks like they're kind of going after everything. So everything is getting, kind of set on fire here. The company I work for actually told me he was, I know, Lisa. Oh my gosh. I know, everybody. I know. And you're not wrong to be afraid. You're not wrong to be scared right now. You're absolutely not wrong. We are fighting this out. And as I've said before, we are in a civil WAR situation. But rather than being out, going from town to town, we are jurisdictionally filing lawsuits across the entire United States. We've got 95 lawsuits as of right now from just since January 20th. 95 lawsuits. We're fighting this WAR in the courts, and it just keeps going and going and going. So, and it's growing and growing, and the fight, we're fighting the good fight out there. And it's one thing about fighting that good fight is we've got attorneys throughout the entire United States bringing these lawsuits. And then we've got just the Department of Justice, just those federal attorneys that are having to defend them. So they're going to be exhausted. They've been cut. They've had their jobs defined. So even the attorneys within the government that are kind of being forced here to come up and serve are really struggling. Let me bump this up so we can see the chat a little bit better. He thinks 3,000 in 4 years. Yeah, and I don't doubt it. I mean, we're losing JAG attorneys. We're losing attorneys everywhere. Here, we took oaths of office. He should not be able to do this. Yes, exactly right. And can't imagine defending it in court. Well, one of the biggest problems that they've got is, how do you defend something that is so blatantly unconstitutional? We can argue both sides, right? But if something is so clearly unconstitutional and you go forward and argue it as an attorney, you're violating your oath. We're not trying to protect anybody here. We're not trying to make sure a defendant's rights aren't being trampled on when you have something that's so blatantly unconstitutional. So, you can't say, well, I'm taking the higher ground. I got to defend the Constitution. You're not. And so you've got some ethical concerns going on as well. Yeah. It's time for a different kind of fight. Yeah, yeah. Hostile work environment. Yeah, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. Resisting project. Yeah. Oh, I love that. Let me write that down. Jojo, let me write that down. Hold on. Let me get my sticky notes. A resisting project 2025. That would be great. Resisting project 2025. And one thing I have to say, .org. One thing, my hubs, my hubs will come in and be like, I had a nightmare last night. And I'm like, oh, really? Okay, because everyone's who's sleeping well right now. Not many, except for bad. All right, I'm sorry, everyone. Hold on, pause. Okay, so the hubs is like, I had a nightmare last night, and it apparently like all of the paperwork that because I print everything out here. It's like all of your paperwork fell over on me and just smothered me to death. So I just like, dude, that's not too far away from reality. So I've been trying all day today to kind of put my stacks of papers out of sight because it's starting to traumatize my husband. Oh my gosh, at page 25. Yes, I need to hop over to Substack. I'm not over there enough. I need to take some more time. The closet door is haunting him. He's like, these are the scribblings of a mad woman. I'm like, say that to my face, buddy. Sleep was that? I know. So, all right. So let's talk about this letter. Again, I was just going through this. This is a memo. This is a letter that was sent out. It was sent to undersecretaries, assistant secretaries, and other key officials. And it's a letter. It's a memo saying this is what our plan's going to be in the next few weeks. And so, prepare yourself because this is what we're looking at. This isn't something being submitted into court or used as evidence to file a complaint against anybody. This is just information that we can see is being shared with the Veterans Affairs people, undersecretaries, assistants, and other key officials. That's all this is. All right, that's all this is. Is there any way that we, the public, can help you attorneys fight the good fight? Oh my gosh, what a great question. At this point, I think, one of the best things right now is what I think is helpful is to call the bad ones out, to call them out. If you put a light on some of the bad ones, I think that's incredibly helpful. Like that little twerp that's in the house, right? What's his name? Johnson. I can't remember his name. I have a block on his name. Like Mr. Johnson, is that it? Well, he's an attorney. He's filed amicus briefs. His amicus briefs are like, stuff of nightmares. Tea break, thank you. Mike, yes, Mike Johnson. Right. So I call him out on his BS. It's like, dude, you took an oath to the Constitution twice, man. What are you doing? So there's that. Yeah. And I think, isn't Stephen Miller, I think he's an attorney too. I mean, there's lots of attorneys within Mr. Trump's sphere that are propping him up. And so I think it's important to call him out. So call him out on bad behavior and just say, hey, look, dude, this isn't right. This goes against your oath, and remind him. Via email or call him. I would say I'm not sure about emails myself because I'm terrible at emails and I always feel awful about that. But the phone calls are getting through to everybody. The phone calls are getting through. And actually, it would be really helpful. It'd be really helpful if we could pull out all of the attorneys in Congress, right? If we could make a list of who the attorneys are in Congress, in the House, and then in the Senate, and go through and figure out, who's licensed, who's an attorney, because they have an elevated duty when it comes to the Constitution. So you can kind of get that information put together, and then you could do a specific, letter writing campaign. You might say, well, email, right, true, but nothing pauses someone more than getting an old school letter with paper and an envelope and like a stamp, right? Nothing makes someone pause than if you've got a handwritten letter or a computer typed letter. You know what I'm saying, right? So that could definitely be a piece. Got a DUI at this speech last night. Oh my gosh. All right. Oh my gosh. Did you know? Here's the did you know moment. A DUI is more highly punished, right? The punishment, the sentence for DUI is higher than if you are literally walking over the border from one country into the United States. All right. I'm just going to put that out there. If you are like under the cloak of darkness, going into another country over the border without permission, and you've got your backpack on, right? And you're doing that, that charge is less than this DUI that this fella just got. All right. So I'm just putting that out there. Okay. I'm just putting that out there. Just trying to give a dose of reality for a minute. Where oversight is on Doge and where's excellent. Can you remove the green sticky? Yes, I can. There we go. We're on the front page, so we don't really need the sticky anymore, do we? Yeah. I mean, it's who knows? And I'm not trying to say that, anyone who gets a DUI is a bad person or, whatever. We all make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. You get called out. You get called into account. You do what you need to do to get back on, the legal path, and you're good to go. I'm not trying to say that's the end of the world. We all screw up, right? But if you screw up and then tell everybody you didn't screw up or the law screwed up and it's not you and you don't take any ownership for your mistake, now we know there's something wrong with you. Right? Well, yeah, I mean, it's incredibly irresponsible and can end in a loss of people's life. And it's horrific. It is a crime. True. Also, people make mistakes and go forward and figure out a better way to do things. All right. So I'm not going to condemn people on their first DUIs. Now, if you're looking at a second DUI or a third, if you're a repeat offender, don't get me started, all right? Because I'm not going to have the empathy that you think I may have. Can you show the attachment page again? Yes. So we've got pages 1 and page 2, page 3, and then here's the attachment. So the repeating of the same offense is one thing that just gets me on my soapbox here. Yeah, Higgs, oh my gosh, everybody, I tell you what. Oh my gosh, we're in a weird place right now. We're in a weird place. Well, and the police should have pulled him over. I think, good job. Everyone's supposed to be treated kind of the same. Was it his first? That I don't know if it was his first or not. Probably never go to court. Well, most DUIs settle out. You don't necessarily have to go to court. President's priority. Well, right. Do you have any legal books you'd recommend for us non-lawyers? That's a good question. I don't really have any books necessarily. I mean, for learning the law is what I'm assuming you're talking about. For learning, I do have, of course, there's my YouTube. But I believe, let me just double check. There is one website that is just, I've been obsessed with it lately. Let me pull the name up here just to make sure that I've got the right place here. And it does so much teaching that I really appreciate it. Yeah, so it's called Legal Eagle. All right, Legal Eagle here. Now, they do a lot of updates as to what's happening right now. But if you search around, they do some really, really great work of explaining how the law works. So I found them to be incredibly helpful, very, very helpful. Legislative discipline. Oh, there we go. Yeah, legal. I really appreciate the work that they do there. So that's kind of a great place to start if you're interested. And then they can kind of send you over to some other places as well. Is it saying essential positions will not be allowed to take an RIF? Now that it's saying here, list of positions, essential positions that excluded from potential reductions. So again, they're looking for a list of who could be included and not mandated as essential during a lapse. So this is a information gathering situation. So this isn't like this is implementation of a plan. This is we're gathering this information. This is what we're looking at. Yes, ABA 2021 Lawyers in Congress. Woo, we love it. We love it. Okay. Yeah, let's take a look at that. 2021 Lawyers in Congress. Right. So I don't really go to textbooks anymore or into law books. I kind of burned out on that. I'm more of a visual person. So, I mean, of course I've got my law textbooks that I use for looking stuff up. But when I'm going in and trying to teach people about the law, I send them to a lot of really great creators because truly those bite-sized pieces of the law just make it easier to digest, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Oh, sure, you're welcome. You're welcome, of course. Of course. Right. So we got to just keep an eye on it here. So they didn't have time to dig. Exactly, Jennifer, exactly. Everything's going fast. And when things go this fast, it's sloppy. There's no way you can push through this much change, this many changes without it being sloppy and hurting a lot of people. So, that's why we're getting our lawsuits going, and there's going to be plenty more up and running. And also, it's why it's going to burn out, because no matter how deep their team is on the bench of people trying to push this agenda through, because Mr. Trump's not doing it. He's just eating burgers. But no matter how deep their bench is, you can't run this hot for a super long time. You just can't. And then once they burn out, that's when you go in. All right, that's when you go in and get them, everyone. That's what we do. Yeah, and I'm really excited to take an eye. I'm really excited to see some of our international communities coming out and being like, we're done here with that kind of stuff. So I can really appreciate that as well. We need you more than ever, burgers. 135. Off you go, Deborah. Thanks for coming by. We appreciate it so much. We appreciate it. Clinton fired 377,000. Yeah, and did he do that like in 24 hours? Right? Did he? I mean, that's the question. Right? In 48 hours out of his 8 years being in office, did Clinton fire 377,000 people? So riddle me that, dude. Right? So, let's be reasonable. You want to cut people? Fine. That's within your purview to cut people. But you're going to cut them all overnight? What do you think's going to happen here? I mean, that's just bad, as George W. Bush would say, bad strategery. So, come on. Yeah. Doctors and nurses will be exempt. It's possible. Again, it's looking like this is that information gathering, and we're looking at that category as well. How I miss Bush right now. George W. Bush was the greatest ever. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, I'm about ready to fall out of my chair. No! No. Yeah, no, I mean, you're not going to be able to come in and tell me that, Mr. Trump's like, well, he's just being blah, blah, blah. You're not going to be able to feed me that line of bull, all right? You're just not. Maybe somebody else, but for critical thinkers, that's not going to work. We don't like eating that crap. So with that, and I'm starting to get a little spicy, everybody. With that, let me give a moment here. I'm going to do a quick plug. I am going to take a quick break so my battery cools down. And I'm heading over to the YouTube, everybody. All right. So on YouTube tonight, which I will be heading over, I'll be there at 8 o'clock Central. So in about 20 minutes. And I'm going through the U.S. Supreme Court's decision regarding the frozen funds here. That was a really big deal. So enormous. And then I'm also going to take you through the sanctions request. We've got one case against the administration, Jane Doe's 1 through 7, that are already requesting sanctions. So that's going to continue on quite a bit. We've got the request and then we've got the response from Musk's team. So this is yikes. So we've got sanctions being requested and we've got SCOTUS with a decision. Now the decision itself was 1 page and Justice Alito had some things to say in his dissent. So it's mostly the dissent. I thought we could take some time to go through that and get some idea of where Alito and the other Alito-like people are. So I'll be reading through both of these on my YouTube here in just about 20 minutes. Yeah, the storms, I know. We had a tree fall onto our house today. If a tree falls in the forest on your house, what happens? Like, oh my gosh. So yeah, it's been crazy. But I will be heading over here, everyone, in about 20 minutes to the YouTube. I'll go ahead and sign off here for now. I will be back again very soon. Thank you all for joining me. I appreciate it so much. Again, I have had some struggles here getting my information. Yeah, the house is okay. The roof is, we got some problems, everybody. This isn't a good time for tariffs, all right? But we'll make it through. So in my content here is kind of being pushed down. So go to my homepage if you're interested. And that's where most of my updates are. But take care, everyone. Again, always grateful you can come by and hang out. Thank you, moderators, for all of your hard work tonight. See you all over on YouTube in about 20 minutes.